Every morning is like a blank canvas, and your thoughts, actions, and choices are the brushstrokes that decide whether it becomes a masterpiece or just another forgotten sketch. The way you rise is the way you shine. The way you begin is the way you become. Imagine if every sunrise was not just a routine, but a sacred opportunity gifted by God to create something extraordinary. Would you still waste it, or would you embrace it with all your heart? My dear friends, life is not lived in years, it is lived in mornings. The way we shape the first hour of our day decides the music that plays through the rest of it. God, in His infinite wisdom, gives us the dawn not just to wake us from sleep, but to awaken our soul. Yet most of us, instead of painting a beautiful picture with our mornings, start the day with stress, rush, and distractions. We forget that the morning is a doorway to divine strength, to inner calm, to purpose, to clarity. If we want to transform our lives, we must first transform our mornings. Today, let us reflect on how to turn every morning into a masterpiece that reflects gratitude, balance, and the presence of God in everything we do. When you open your eyes in the morning, what is the first thing you see, the first thing you think, the first thing you feel? For many people, the first instinct is to grab the phone, scroll through messages, or think about the long list of tasks waiting to be completed. But imagine this. Instead of diving headfirst into the noise of the world, you paused for just a moment and whispered to yourself, "Thank you. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for the bed that held me through the night. Thank you for the chance to live another day." This single, simple act of gratitude has the power to transform not just your morning, but your entire life. Gratitude is like the sunlight of the soul. Just as the sun rises and brightens the earth, gratitude rises in your heart and illuminates your mind. A person who begins the day with complaints sees the world through the eyes of lack. They notice only what they do not have, what went wrong yesterday, what they fear might go wrong today. But a person who begins the day with gratitude notices blessings everywhere. Their heart is tuned to the higher frequency of contentment. They walk lighter, they speak kinder, they live with peace. Think about it when you wake up and your first thought is a complaint. Why do I have to get up so early? Why is life so stressful? Why does everything feel so heavy? You are already painting the canvas of your day with dull, dark strokes. It is like dipping your brush in mud and smearing it across a fresh canvas. But when your first thought is, "I am alive, I have another chance, God has given me this morning to grow, to learn, to love," then you dip your brush in bright colors and your entire day begins to shine. There is a story of a man who had very little in life. His clothes were worn out, his home was small, and his meals were simple. Yet, every morning he would sit outside, fold his hands, close his eyes, and smile at the rising sun. When people asked him, "How can you smile when you have so little?" he would say, "Because I see how much I already have. I have a sky to look at, a sun to warm me, and breath in my body. If I begin my day remembering this, I carry joy with me wherever I go." That man lived with peace and happiness that even the wealthy around him could not buy. Gratitude is the wealth that no currency can purchase. Modern life has trained us to chase what is missing rather than celebrate what is present. But gratitude flips that perspective. It tells you, stop, look at the blessings already around you. Think about your own morning. Did you have a bed to sleep on? There are people who woke up on cold streets. Did you drink clean water? There are millions who begin their day searching for a drop to quench their thirst. Did you open your eyes and see the light of the new day. There are souls who did not get that chance today. Gratitude reminds us that nothing is ordinary. It is all extraordinary, if only we pause to see it. Science also shows us that gratitude changes the chemistry of our brain. When you begin with thankfulness, your stress hormones reduce, your heart rate stabilizes, your mind becomes clearer. Spiritually, gratitude is even more powerful. When you thank God for what you already have, you are telling Him, I notice your gifts. I honor your presence. I am aware that my life is full because of you. And when you speak to God in this way, you open yourself to even greater abundance, not always in material form, but in the richness of peace, love, and inner strength. Let's make this practical. Tomorrow morning, before touching your phone, place your hand on your heart and think of 3 blessings. They can be small or big, it doesn't matter. Maybe it is the breath in your lungs, the face of someone you love, the sound of birds outside, or the fact that you have another chance to become better than yesterday. Speak those blessings out loud or in your mind and say, thank you. This practice takes less than 1 minute, but it will shift your entire mindset. You will notice yourself smiling more, rushing less, and handling challenges with greater calm. Gratitude also teaches humility. It reminds us that not everything we enjoy is because of our own effort. So much of what we have is grace, the air we breathe, the food that grows, the people who support us, the opportunities that come our way. These are not merely achievements, they are blessings. And when we start the day by acknowledging them, our ego softens and our heart expands. We become less demanding of life and more giving towards others. A morning built on gratitude sets the tone for kindness throughout the day. When you see your own blessings clearly, you begin to wish blessings for others. You smile at strangers, you help colleagues, you speak with gentleness. Gratitude is contagious. It spills from your heart into your actions, and soon the people around you also feel uplifted by your energy. So let us remember, the morning is not just about opening our eyes, but about opening our hearts. When we rise with gratitude, we rise with God. Every thank you becomes a prayer. Every moment of appreciation becomes worship. If you want to turn your morning into a masterpiece, begin with gratitude, not complaints. Because a grateful morning paints a grateful day, and a grateful day paints a beautiful life. Before the world pulls you into its noise, demands, and distractions, there is a sacred window in the morning that belongs only to you and to God. It is a time untouched, pure, and fresh, when your mind is still, quiet, and your heart is more open than it will be at any other hour of the day. Yet, many of us hand this gift away by rushing into emails, scrolling through notifications, or worrying about what lies ahead. We forget that before speaking to the world, we must first speak to the one who created the world. When you begin your morning in connection with the divine, you build a foundation of strength, clarity, and peace that nothing in the day can shake. Think of it like this. If you are about to set out on a journey, wouldn't you first look at the map or compass? Wouldn't you want to know the direction before taking your first step? In the same way, our mornings set the direction for the rest of our day. If we start by anchoring ourselves in God's presence, we align our inner compass to the highest guidance. Without this connection, we may still walk, but we wander, tossed around by circumstances, anxieties, and expectations. Imagine you wake up, and before touching your phone, you simply sit in stillness. You close your eyes, you breathe deeply, and you whisper silently in your heart, "Thank you for this day. Guide me today. Keep me aligned with goodness." That moment of turning inward, of looking upward, fills your heart with calmness. Even if the rest of your day is filled with meetings, deadlines, or challenges, you carry within you a quiet assurance: I am not walking alone. The divine walks with me. That assurance becomes your shield. Let me share a simple example. There was a young woman who worked in a high stress environment. Every morning, she would wake up late, rush to get ready, and immediately begin checking her phone for work messages. She confessed that by the time she reached the office, her heart was already racing, her mind already tired. One day, she decided to change her morning pattern. Instead of diving straight into her phone, she dedicated just 10 minutes to sit in silence, breathe, and focus on God. She would simply close her eyes, put her hand on her chest, and repeat, I am guided, I am protected, I am loved. Within weeks, she noticed that even though her workload had not decreased, her ability to handle it with patience and clarity had increased. She felt lighter, stronger, calmer. What changed? Not her circumstances, but her connection. Connection with the divine is like charging your inner battery. You wouldn't expect your phone to last the entire day if you didn't charge it in the morning, would you? In the same way, how can you expect your mind and heart to function with peace if you don't recharge them at the source of all peace? Most of us try to run on empty and then wonder why we feel so drained by midday. A few minutes of prayer, reflection, or meditation is like plugging yourself into God's energy. It fills you in ways no amount of coffee or motivation ever can. Some may say, but I don't have time. The truth is, it is not about the quantity of time, but the quality of your presence. Even 5 minutes of sitting with God in silence can do more for your soul than an hour of distracted living. The key is sincerity. When you close your eyes and speak from the depths of your heart, even if it is only for a few moments, you are planting seeds of peace that will grow throughout your day. In the stillness of the morning, the divine speaks in whispers. You may not hear words, but you will feel a sense of guidance, a nudge towards patience, a reminder of what truly matters. When you cultivate this practice daily, you develop an inner clarity that makes decision making easier. Instead of reacting to life in haste, you begin responding with wisdom. Instead of being pulled in 100 directions, you walk steadily on the path that aligns with your higher self. Think of the ocean. When the surface is disturbed, you cannot see clearly into the depths. But when the water is calm, its beauty and clarity are revealed. Our minds are the same. If we begin our day scattered, noisy, and restless, we miss the deeper truths that guide us. But when we start in silence with the divine, our inner waters settle and we can see with clarity. This connection also transforms how you interact with others. When you have filled yourself with divine presence in the morning, you carry patience into your conversations, kindness into your actions, and stability into your challenges. People around you may even notice and ask, why do you seem so calm? Why do you seem so centered even when things are tough? And the answer lies not in what you do, but in whom you connect with before doing anything. So tomorrow morning, before allowing the world to touch you, allow God to touch you. Before you pick up your phone, pick up your prayer. Before you give your words to others, give your silence to the divine. This small shift can change everything. When you connect with God before the world, you are not only shaping your morning into a masterpiece, you are shaping your life into a masterpiece of peace, strength, and joy. Your body and your soul are like two instruments in an orchestra. If one is out of tune, the whole symphony sounds incomplete. Too often, we focus on one while neglecting the other. Some people take care of their bodies with great discipline. They exercise, eat well, and stay active, but they ignore their soul, leaving it restless and starved. Others immerse themselves in spiritual practices, but forget that their body too is a sacred vessel, deserving of care and respect. To live a life of balance and strength, both body and soul must be nourished every single morning, because both are gifts from God. Think about your body for a moment. It is the vehicle that carries you through this journey of life. Without it, you cannot act, speak, work, or love. If you wake up and immediately feed it with unhealthy choices, you are dulling the very instrument you need to create your masterpiece. Just as a painter takes care of his brushes and colors, you must take care of your body to paint the canvas of your day beautifully. Drinking water upon waking, stretching your body, or giving it the nourishment of wholesome food is not just self-care. It is an act of respect to the divine who has given you this temple to live in. There was once a wise teacher who said, "When you neglect the body, the soul cannot fully shine through." Imagine you have a lantern with a brilliant flame inside. If the glass of the lantern is covered in dirt, the flame may still be burning, but its light cannot be seen clearly. In the same way, your soul is pure and divine, but if your body is exhausted, unhealthy, or neglected, the light of your soul cannot radiate fully. By keeping the body clean, strong, and cared for, you allow the soul's brilliance to be expressed in your actions, words, and presence. Let us reflect on the soul. Every morning, while the body hungers for food, the soul hungers for silence, reflection, and higher thoughts. If you only feed your body but not your soul, you may look healthy on the outside, but inside you will feel empty, restless, and unfulfilled. Have you ever noticed that on days when you wake up and only rush, eat quickly, dress quickly, move quickly, you may accomplish many things, but still feel something missing? That missing piece is the nourishment of your soul. Just as your body weakens without food, your soul weakens without connection to higher energy. Feeding the soul does not always require hours of meditation. It can be as simple as sitting for a few moments in gratitude, reading a passage of wisdom, listening to uplifting music, or simply breathing consciously. Even small acts of inner nourishment can fill your heart with peace that sustains you throughout the day. For example, if you wake up and whisper a prayer of thankfulness, you have already fed your soul with humility. If you breathe deeply and remind yourself, "I am guided, I am supported," you have already nourished your soul with strength. Consider the life of a gardener. He waters not only the flowers but also the roots. If he waters the flowers alone, they may look fresh for a while, but soon they will wither because their roots are starving. The body is like the flowers, visible to all. The soul is like the roots, hidden but essential. If you care only for the body, the soul may weaken, and soon the beauty of the body too will fade. But when you care for both, the roots and the flowers, you create a garden that blooms with lasting vitality. Think of mornings as the time to water both your flowers and your roots. Take a few moments for physical nourishment. Drink water, move your body, breathe fresh air. At the same time, take a few moments for soul nourishment, practice gratitude, connect with God, quiet your mind. These few acts are like giving both sunlight and water to a plant. Together, they create harmony. There was once a man who lived a very fast life. He ate whatever he could grab quickly and never paused to reflect. Over time, he became not only physically tired but spiritually drained. One day, an elder told him, "Treat your mornings as sacred. Eat something that gives your body strength, and do something that gives your soul peace. He began with small changes, replacing junk food with fruits and 5 minutes of silence instead of rushing. Slowly, his life began to change. He felt lighter in his body and calmer in his soul. He realized that nourishing both was the secret to balance. When you treat your body and soul with care each morning, you are telling yourself, I value this life. I value the gifts God has given me. This awareness itself becomes a form of worship. Your body then becomes stronger to serve others, and your soul becomes brighter to inspire others. People who meet you feel your energy, your presence, and your positivity, not because of what you say, but because of the harmony you carry within. So, remember, each morning your body is the temple, your soul is the flame. Feed them both, care for them both, respect them both. When you nourish your body with healthy choices and your soul with divine connection, you do not just prepare for a day, you prepare for a life that reflects God's grace in every step.